The age-old question, why does God allow evil to exist? Right? You've probably asked that at some point in your life. Why did God allow evil to exist? And once evil was unleashed on the human population, why then can't he remove evil from humanity?
Why does God allow evil to exist?
Let's
If
get
God
to
is
it.
an all good, benevolent deity, why did he create a world with so much suffering in it? Why allow people to experience pain, agony, and despair? Why do children get cancer? And why do evil people roam the world without consequence? This is a question humanity has pondered since the beginning of time. Some people even point to this as undeniable proof that God doesn't exist, arguing that it makes no sense for a loving creator to allow so much darkness. If he is as powerful as we believe, doesn't he have the power to stop it all and
That
make the
part.
world a paradise?
That
Others
part.
ask, if God created everything, doesn't that mean he created evil as well? The reality is, people are looking at this all wrong. The truth behind this centuries old paradox is much simpler than you could ever imagine. Today, I'm going to reveal exactly why God allows evil in the world.
Shout out to the Truth Is channel. Like this brother, he be on it. If you haven't visited his channel before, you need to visit his channel. He be on it. So I was surprised when he took on this subject because this is a very spiritual subject. This is a very biblical subject. This is a very scriptural subject. This is different from his normal content, which is Hollywood and the industry. So I'm very eager to watch this video. I haven't watched this video. When I seen it, I was like, oh, I got to react to it. So let's get
By
to it.
the end of this video, you will understand exactly why our reality is structured the way it is.
Let's go.
The reason I decided to make this video was because of a comment someone left on my channel. They asked, if God exists, why allow evil? When I tried to explain, they replied that I was just using the same old excuse.
Oh, I gotta read that
Tried
comment
to
one more
explain,
time.
they replied, understand exactly why our
I gotta
reality
read
is
that
structured
comment
the
one
way
more
it
time.
is. The reason I decided to make this video was because of a comment someone left.
That comment. Lest my heart breaks for this poor woman. These are the types of things that make people want to curse God for creating such a vile place. If he was all powerful, then why even allow evil to begin with? It breaks my heart, the cruelty of this world. I used to love and have a passion for life when I was naive and stupid. But now, knowing the world, I know it it truly is evil. Huh? Let me read that. Knowing the world, I know it truly is hell here with brief, very brief moments of peace. Man, that's a lot, especially this part. These are the types of things that make people want to curse God. Don't do that. Don't do that. I know we're frustrated, but if I could urge y'all, the one thing that you should not do right here, regardless of how bad life is, don't do this. Take it from me. All right? So now let's get to it.
On my channel. They asked, if God exists, why allow evil? When I tried to explain, they replied that I was just using the same old excuse to justify believing in a non existing God.
That part.
That stuck with me for days, because honestly, they were right to be frustrated.
That
People
part.
have tried to answer this question millions of times, but they always give the same generic, surface level response
And I
that
can
doesn't
guess what
actually
that
help
answer
anyone
is.
understand. They brush it off by saying God works in mysterious ways.
No, most people answer it that man has free will. And if man chooses to do evil with his free will, that is a will that is afforded to that man. Just like you have the option to do goodwill, there are people in this world who they choose to do evil with their free will. So God can't take away their free will and leave yours intact. Because he's an impartial God, if he's going to give free will to the good, he has to give free will to the bad also. That's what makes God so amazing. Remember when the the people brought a woman that was caught in adultery before Christ himself. And they said, Lord, this woman was caught in adultery. The law, according to Moses, commanded us to stone such a woman as this, right? But a woman cannot commit adultery on her own. So there was another party that was equally as guilty to the adultery, but the people did not bring him to Christ. So the people were trying to get Jesus to issue partial judgment, and that's not Christ's character. If he's going to give judgment, he's going to give judgment to the man and to the woman. He can't just condemn the woman and not condemn the man. So either he condemns them both or he sets them both free. And that's what he chose to do. Since the people had already decided that the man goes free automatically, then Christ said, okay, I'm going to let this woman go free also, because it's in my nature to be impartial. When you understand that truth about God, the scriptures will then make sense. Why? In the Garden of Eden, the serpent was punished, the woman was punished, and the man was punished. Everybody that sinned was punished. He doesn't give, like, just because Eve is the one that gave Adam the fruit, he could have easily just punished the woman and left it at that. But everybody was guilty, including Adam, for eating the fruit. He would have told his wife, no, Eve, I'm not going to eat that fruit because God said not to eat that fruit. But all of them were guilty and all of them were judged. That's the nature of God. So if he's going to give free will to the saints, he's also going to give free will to the sinners. That's my answer, bros.
Or they claim that suffering is just a tool meant to build our character and test our faith. But is that really the reason for all the pain and suffering we experience? While building character is a small part of it, the truth is much more profound than God just letting you suffer to teach you a lesson. The reality is, God doesn't want anyone to suffer. He didn't create the world for that purpose. To understand why evil exists, we have to look back at the original blueprint of creation. We all know the story. God created the Garden of Eden, placing Adam and Eve in a divine paradise designed for perfect harmony. But he gave them one single rule: do not eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. We all know what happens next. The serpent infiltrates the garden. He tricks them into eating the fruit with the promise that their eyes will be open to the ultimate truth.
See, this house in Texas.
The serpent didn't just want to disobey. He wanted them to believe they could be their own God. As a result of their disobedience, God confronts Adam and Eve and casts them out of the garden. Most people view this purely as a story of punishment, but this exact event holds the key to understanding why evil exists in our world today. And it proves that God was not the one who created it. This is where some people ask, if God is all-knowing, why didn't he prevent Adam and Eve from eating the fruit? Why would he allow the serpent into the garden if he already knew its plans? This all goes back to the core principle of God's vision for humanity. When he created Adam and Eve, he didn't want them to be blind servants who obeyed him without a choice. He wanted to give them free will so they can choose to love him on their own. This is how love truly works. Think about it. If you're programmed to love someone, do you actually love them? It's like building a robot and instructing it to tell you that you're great all the time. The robot isn't saying it because it truly believes it. It's doing it because it's programmed to. If God had prevented the serpent from entering the garden and testing humanity, he would be stripping them of the choice to love and obey him. He would be making the choice for them, and that is not love nor free will. But if God is good and loves us, why would he punish us for making a mistake? This is where we find the real truth. I have an analogy that explains exactly why God had no choice but to cast Adam and Eve out of the garden, and why it wasn't a punishment at all. Think of the Garden of Eden like a party you're hosting. You create the perfect environment, great food, great music, great friends. But you invite one friend who has a bad reputation. You have heard he likes to steal, but you give him the benefit of the doubt. When the party starts, it's going perfectly. Everyone is having a great time. But eventually, you realize your phone is missing. You ask around, but no one claims to have seen it. You instantly suspect the friend with the bad reputation. But to actually confront him, you need undeniable proof. So, you throw a second party. You invite all the same people back, But this time, you secretly install hidden cameras and you purposely leave some cash sitting out. By the end of the night, the money is gone. You check the footage, and there it is. The friend you gave a chance betrayed you. You confront him, and he immediately apologizes and hands the money back. But you know the truth now. He isn't sorry he did it, he is just sorry he got caught. Because he proved he is willing to steal from you twice, you can never invite him to another party. If you let a known thief back into your house, they would just ruin it for everyone else. This is exactly what happened in the Garden of Eden. The garden was the first party, a perfect paradise. Adam and Eve were the guest. God allowed the serpent into the party knowing its reputation. Because God is all-knowing, he knew the serpent would tempt them and he knew they would fall for it. But if God had stopped the serpent at the front door, he would have been making a choice for them.
I'm also going to say the story of the Garden of Eden is actually an indication of all the characteristics of those involved. Number one, the serpent, we are told of his characteristics. He's cunning, he's slick, right? And he doesn't tell you the truth. The woman, she is never satisfied. She had a good life. There's no better life than in the Garden of Eden. And she still wanted 100%. She didn't want the 98% of the things that she had available to her. She wanted it all. It's all or nothing. So that exposed women nature. And then the man just being obedient to the woman, which is error. You should be obedient to God. So men made women their gods, and that's error. If God said, do not do this, I don't care how bad your baddie is, you got to tell her no. I'm going with God. Even if it means you're not going to give me none, if it means you're going to be upset at me, if it means you're probably going to cheat on me, I'm going to be obedient to God. And that was a lesson. That was a revealing of natures from the Garden of Eden. The serpent's nature was revealed, the woman's nature was revealed, and the man's nature was revealed. So if you have a godly woman who's not going to mislead you and you listen to her, that's actually a good thing. That's the scenario that God is talking about. He who finds a wife finds a good thing. He's not just talking about any kind of wife, because there's wives in the Bible that the Lord himself said are not good wives. That wife that's constantly nagging. He said of her, it is better for a man to live in the desert or to live in the attic than to live in the house with a quarrelsome woman. So this does not blanket every woman. It's a godly woman. A godly woman is not going to try to mislead her husband. And a godly woman is going to try to uphold the standard that God set. So if God has given her husband a mission, she's going to come in and submit to that mission. Submission. But if you tell secular girls about submission, they run because they look at submission as oppression, submission as slavery, and that's just not a godly mindset. So, he who finds a godly wife finds a good thing. It's not just he who finds a wife, period. Because there's some wives out here that really shouldn't even be married. Let's just keep
To
it
have
100.
true free will, he had to give them the chance to resist the temptation themselves. When they failed, God had to confront them. He already knew what they did, but he wanted them to admit it. He wanted to see if they would be honest. Even though they admitted to it, he knew it was only because they got caught. In order to see if they were truly sorry,
Actually, they didn't admit to it. They finger pointed. Adam pointed the finger at his wife and at the serpent. Actually, no. Adam pointed the finger at his wife and at God. He said, the woman that you gave me is the one that misled me. And then the woman said, it wasn't my fault, it was the fault of the serpent. And then the serpent didn't have anybody to blame but himself. You see what I'm saying? But they each blamed the other instead of say, yes, I did that and I'm sorry. I won't let it happen again. They probably would have stayed in the Garden of Eden to this day. but that's not what they did. And human nature to this day is hard. Accountability is an issue in 2026. That's what was lacking in the garden. That's why I said the Garden of Eden was a window into human nature. You dig?
Needed to test them. Now, just like the host of the
Oh, this
party,
video's good.
God must protect his home. He has to make sure no one ruins paradise ever again. So, he creates the second party. That second party is the physical world we live in right now. It is a testing ground outside of the garden. He places humanity into this new environment with the same temptation still present, and he turns on the cameras. And that camera is your conscience. Every choice you make is being recorded. He watches to see who will continue to choose the lie and who will choose the truth. When the test is over, God knows exactly who can be allowed back into eternal paradise, confident that they would never ruin it again. This explains why God had no choice but to cast Adam and Eve out of the garden. He did it to protect the paradise from corruption, to ensure it remains a perfect sanctuary for those who choose good. But this only explains why he had to remove humanity. How does it explain why evil exists in the first place?
Let's get
Simply
it.
put, evil is the rejection of good. God did not create evil. Everything he created was entirely good. But because he chose to give his creation free will, he gave them the ability to freely choose good. By default, that means he also had to allow them the ability to reject it. And that rejection is what evil truly is. Now, you might be asking, but God created the serpent, and the serpent is evil, right? Well, no. God did not make the serpent evil. What made him that way was his own developing jealousy. He rejected the original plan because he felt he deserved to be worshipped. Many interpret the serpent as a representation of Lucifer. Lucifer was an angel God created to be good and serve his kingdom. God made him so perfect and beautiful that Lucifer began to believe he deserved to be worshipped like God himself. This idea corrupted his spirit, leading to
And I'm sorry I keep pausing this, but you know I got to because this is YouTube, bros. Lucifer is actually the god that a lot of occultists turn to. They literally are willing to worship Lucifer. You feel me? You just go back and look at whatever fraternity, society, secret, whatever. At the bottom of it is Lucifer, whether they know it or they don't, right? He has always desired worship. That's why when Jesus was in the wilderness, Lucifer appeared to Christ and said, "If you worship me, I will give you the kingdoms of this earth." And that's the route a lot of celebrities in Hollywood are choosing to go. When you hear things like Baphomet, Baphomet is just Lucifer or his fallen angels, right? So they're tapping into the fallen angels for fame, for fortune, right? That's what he was trying to offer Jesus, but Jesus overcame him and his temptations. So it's up to us also to overcome his temptations. But a lot of us, especially in the entertainment industry, they've admittedly said on camera, "I sold my soul for fame and for fortune." And guess who they sold it to? Lucifer. Whether they knew it or they didn't know it, that's the God behind that.
his exile from heaven.
I'm gonna try
He
not to
didn't
interrupt.
fall because God made him evil. He fell because he made himself evil. He then tricked humanity into believing the same exact lie he fell for, that they could be their own gods. This is why he told Adam and Eve that if they ate the fruit, their eyes would be open and they would live forever like gods. He was poisoning them with the exact same jealousy he was infected with. God had to stop the spread of that evil in his paradise. So, he removed them from the garden and sent them to earth to be tested. What happens on earth isn't God's fault. It is humanity's fault. God doesn't want anyone to suffer. He doesn't want any pain or destruction. God could come down and stop evil from happening at any moment. He could prevent every disaster, disease, or war. He could force the world to be good. But doing that would completely defeat the purpose of humanity being here in the first place. This is a test. If God interferes, the results are tainted, and all of this was for nothing. As much as it hurts him to see humanity choose evil time and time again, he has to let the test run its course. So when it's finally over, he can see who chose good and who rejected it. He can see who deserves to be allowed into paradise and who doesn't. For those who don't make it, it isn't because God wanted them to fail. God gave them an entire lifetime to choose what is right, or to prove they have truly repented when they choose wrong. But if a person continues to reject good, he has no choice but to reject them. He isn't rejecting them out of cruelty. He is protecting everyone else. He has to do it to preserve the paradise for all of those who actually deserve it. Now, I could already see people in the comments asking, but what about the flood? God destroyed an entire civilization and only saved one man and his family. That is clearly evil, right? The truth is, God didn't flood the world because he wanted to destroy his own creation. That makes absolutely no sense. If that were the case, the moment humanity failed in the garden, he wouldn't have given us a second chance. He could have just wiped us out right then and saved himself the trouble. The reason he flooded the earth was that humanity had completely rejected good. They were entirely consumed by the serpent's lies. He hoped humanity would resist the temptation, but they failed again. And this time, the evil got completely out of hand. So in order to not end humanity, he came up with a compromise.
And I'm going to say, actually, the flood did humanity a favor. And I'm going to say this. Have you ever watched a horror movie? Whatever horror movie, right? Where they got hideous looking monsters, creatures, the Nephilim. Let me tell you, if the Nephilim was still walking the earth today, you would be terrified to leave your house. Do you hear what I'm saying? If the Nephilim was still on the earth today, those creatures that were half human, half angel, you would never leave the house. Agoraphobia would be a real thing. Look it up, agoraphobia. It's the fear of leaving the house. Them things were hideous looking, right? They were powerful, they were mighty, they were strong. They were superior to humanity. And now the occult is trying to tap into them. That's who the occultists are tapping into for their stuff. You hear what I'm saying? So the flood only removed them from our vision, but their spirit still roams the earth. So when you see a person that's possessed by a devil, that's a person that has come in contact with the spirit of a Nephilim. Do you hear what I'm saying to you? It's better that way, that we don't see them, but we see the manifestation of them. Because the people that lived with them, they were in terror of them. And then in Revelation, it is said that the bottomless pit that houses them is going to be opened. And these spirits will be free to roam the earth. And the hearts of men will grow cold. They will wish for death, and death will not come. Terror. I'm talking about horror movie on steroids. Terror. You think Halloween is scary? I'm telling you, a real Halloween is coming. If you ain't read your Bible, I'm sorry, but you have no clue what is about to be unleashed on the earth. And my only prayer is that I am not on this earth when that happens, because the terror, you know the bad dreams that some of you have when incubus or a succubus visits you, that night terror, that night paralysis, multiply that by 10. Some of you have said you've seen something in the corner of your room. Multiply that by 10. So the flood was actually a favor to humanity because God removed them from our visual. We could no longer see these creatures of the night. And sometimes people have put videos out saying they seen something. I don't believe them. I really don't believe them. But a day is coming when they will be released on the earth. And woe to the inhabitants of the earth in that time.
Third chance. He decided to cut off the infected parts of humanity and save the only family who chose good. This way, he can give humanity a clean slate. God didn't want to flood the world. He even made it clear that it grieved him, and he promised he would never do it again. But sadly, after giving us a third chance, humanity failed them once again.
Every time.
This is where we see just how good God truly is. Instead of losing hope in humanity after we failed for a third time, he didn't give up on us. He did the exact opposite. God decided that maybe humanity needed to see that the test could actually be passed. So, he decided to prove it by putting himself in our shoes. He stepped into the physical world as a human, born just like the rest of us. He then showed humanity exactly how the test can be completed. He showed us what we needed to do, and he paid the ultimate price for it.
To God be the glory. Because of this, we have a way to escape the wrath of God. For everybody that chose to reject God, this is your way of escape. Accept the work that Jesus did on the cross. If you don't want to spend your eternity elsewhere, believe on him. John 3:16, for God so loved the world that he gave his only Son, that whoever believeth in him shall never perish, but have eternal life. And this was the cost for that eternal life. That right there.
He was betrayed, humiliated, tortured, and killed. And throughout all of it, he never once rejected good. He passed the test under the worst conditions imaginable. The evil that had consumed the world tried to do everything in its power to break him.
Navon,
So to answer the ultimate question, why does God allow evil to exist? He allows it because true love requires free will, and true free will requires the option to reject God. We are not abandoned prisoners in a cruel, pointless universe. We are in the middle of a very important test. The Garden of Eden was the first party. The physical world we live in right now is the second, and your conscience is the camera. God allows evil so he can give us the choice to choose good. The serpent wants you to believe the test is rigged, that the creator is a tyrant, and that you should just serve your own ego. But the creator stepped into this exact world, faced the exact same evils, and proved that the test can be beaten. So when people say God created evil or they blame suffering on him, remember the choice is ultimately ours. We determine if we're choosing good or rejecting it. Did this explanation help you better understand why evil exists?
100%. I'm just reading this thing on my hand and it says, if you believe, you will receive whatever you ask for in prayer. And then the second one says, fear God and keep his commandments. That's Ecclesiastes 12:13. And the other one is Matthew 21:22. Matthew 21:22 states, if you believe, you will receive whatever you ask for in prayer. Take it to God, y'all.
Do you think I'm wrong? Or maybe you have your own theory as to why. I'll be checking the comment section to see what you guys have to say.
Alright,
Now, I know
post.
I normally don't make content exactly like this.
I know.
And focus on revealing the darkness that hides and manipulates humanity. But I feel like videos like this are just as important. If you like this video and want to see a part 2 where I explain other concepts, comment part 2 below. If enough of you are interested, I will make sure to make more videos just like this.
I love this guy, bros. I love this guy. He doesn't stay stifled in just dealing with the industry. You know what I mean? Like, this might be the time that this is timely for this current age that we're in, because we're dealing with a serpent and his host of demons. Oh, before I go, I'm gonna play you a short clip. Man, okay. So you heard me say that in latter times, demonic activity will be increased on the earth. Alright? I'm going to play this short clip and you just watch it with your spiritual eyes and your spiritual ears. Alright? Because this is going to be the norm. This is going to be the norm. It's going to be mass people like this. Alright? Let's get to it.
For so long. It's
No,
like,
yeah, that's a
it was
great
so
spot.
Good.
Yeah, I'm sorry. What is that you do?
Oh, I'm an accountant.
Did you catch
No,
that?
I mean like the weird voice thing.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm possessed.
Sorry. It's gotta be satire. I'm possessed. Like it's something casual.
Is that a problem? I swear to God, I'm like super normal besides that.
That's fine. Yeah. That's a great
So
spot.
good.
Yeah, I'm sorry. What is that you do?
Oh, I'm an accountant.
No, I mean like the weird voice thing.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm possessed.
It's gotta be satire. I'm possessed. Like it's something casual.
Is that a problem? I swear to God, I'm like super normal besides that.
That's fine. Yeah. Yo, what?
Sorry. What did you order?
Just imagine. Sorry, I'm possessed. You know.
And Levi Nix is making fun of it. But this is the reality. This is the reality of what's to come. Do you hear what I'm saying to you? Because so many people out here claim they're not religious. So many people out here claim they don't believe in God. So many people out here denounce Christianity. So if Christianity is filling you with the Holy Spirit, what's the alternative? What is the alternative? One more, and then I'm out of here. All right? I don't want to put fear in y'all, but y'all better know what's coming. It's coming. It's coming. I'm trying to tell you.